Welcome to Kutch time. Today is December 5th, 2025, and the number 7 Michigan State Spartans just lost to number 4 Duke Blue Devils 66-60. The Spartans get their first loss in the season after a defensive slugfest that saw both teams score under 30 and a half. Duke in the first half and MSU in the second. MSU had a 3-point lead going in the first half with shots falling down and their defense being locked. But after Duke switched to a zone defense partway through the second half, MSU could not buy a bucket. In the final 9 minutes, they only scored 9 points, while Duke scored 18 points in that same amount of time. The offense today was absolutely terrible, and that's the biggest reason why Michigan State couldn't get the win over Duke. There was a little bit of good today, mostly all in the first half, really. Jackson Kohler, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 threes. All of the threes came in the first half. I think that the two-pointer came very beginning of the second, and after that, he just couldn't score. I don't know. I mean, he was hyping up the crowd pre-game, during the game, like he always does, and he just couldn't buy a bucket in the second half. And the offense was just so stale and just couldn't figure out his own. I don't know why, because the a lot of times when a team is struggling against the Spartans, they switch to his own and it'll work for a good while. And if they play the zone before half, they can use halftime to figure it out. But if they play it in the second half, not revealing it in the first half, MSU is usually screwed. And like today against a very good team in Duke, they got screwed. Carson Cooper, 16 points, career high 60 rebounds. I mean, he was probably the best player tonight. I don't think there's a debate. I mean, you could say Jackson Kohler, but all around Cooper was very good, and Kohler missed a lot of rebounds. Cooper did a little bit too, but Cooper was getting the rebounds a lot of the time tonight, and it really showed. And he was a really big player, really big energy guy, and he's really stepped up this season. And tonight like that against a very good opponent, him stepping up is a very good sign going into the future, despite the loss. Jordan Scott, probably his best shooting game. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 3-pointers. He struggled with his shot in the beginning of the season, but him knocking down 2 threes, I think, is the first time in his career he's done that. I know he's had at least one, but 2 it's good. It's good for him to see from him, especially from a freshman, and how much he can grow in even such a short amount of time to have that confidence. And both were open, but just a lot of the times he's been missing those. Um, now the bad. Jeremy Fears struggled immensely today from offensive end. 6 points. He does have 13 assists. I mean, he's always going to get assists. He's the floor general. He leads the team in offense, but he's 0 for 10 from the field. And it's not like, yeah, some of them were hard shots at the end of the buzzer, and it just kind of came to him and he didn't shoot it. But a lot of the shots were pretty open layups or floaters. And he just missed them off the rim. And I mean, it was really bad. And at a certain point, like the very last bucket of the game that wouldn't have mattered, it would have made the loss 66-62. Jeremy Fears was driving to the paint and just misses a wide open layup. It was like the story of the night in that one shot. Was even when we were getting open in the second half and getting good shots, we just couldn't make them. It was something in our head that just wouldn't let us. And Jeremy Fears had affected the whole night. I mean, 0 for 10 as the star point guard of the team, the floor general, the commander, one of the biggest guys for this team, and you go 0 for 10 is really bad. And his offense has been a lot better this season, just on a night like tonight against the number 4 Duke Blue Devils. You can't go 0 for 10 with your point guard and expect to win. Something I found odd, maybe not bad. Jesse McCall only played 4 minutes, but in that minute he made a 3-pointer and had some offense, and that was in the first half. In the second half, when we're struggling immensely in offense, and we have this center that can stretch the floor quite well, you don't put him in at all. It's just confusing to me. I get has some liabilities on the defensive end, maybe. Not as agile as someone like Kohler or Cooper. Just getting stops, but I mean, if you can't buy a bucket, you might as well try to put someone that can make a shot. And The biggest problem with this team, and I've mentioned before, is just the shooting guards. The shooting guards are a liability night in and night out against good teams, against mediocre teams, against bad teams. It feels like a flip of a coin, but it's not a coin. It's like a roll of the dice. 1 in 6 games, one of the players will be good. Um, they'll want to play good, and then the other 5 games they're bad. They're just not good. They're unplayable to a certain extent because they're not. Neither of them are good at defense. I'm talking about Kurt and Trey Ford. Kurt tonight gets the start again. Um, Plays 11 minutes, 0 for 5. Really hard to be shooting guard when you can't make a bucket. Trey Ford, 2 points, 1 for 2. Also only plays 8 minutes. Trey Ford might still be sick, but at this point, I don't think he should be sick enough to only play 8 minutes, especially if we're struggling tonight. As much as we need offense. Um, and the 1 point, the 2 points he got was a lob. Like it wasn't like a jumper; it was a lob by Fuse, and it was a very good lob, very good dunk. But neither of them could get it going. I mean, Jordan Scott was the best guy who played the two today. Uh, the freshman, true freshman, 8 games into his college career was the best shooting guard from the sophomore Kurt Tang, who had veteran experience, good experience last year, go into late and win the Big Ten, knowing what it takes to win. A fifth-year senior in Trey Fort, who's been around and kind of seen a little bit of it all, and was an offensive beast at Stanford. Comes here and can't do anything. Kurt Tang can't really do anything. Jordan Scott, the freshman, at least he can play defense. And with this team, like tonight, all he really could do is play defense in the second half. Uh, so that's why Jordan Scott got the minutes. That's why Jordan Scott uh, played 15 more minutes than the starter in Kurt Tang. And that's if Kurt Tang continues to struggle, Trey Fort continues to struggle. Eventually, Jordan Scott could take a starting role. I'm not saying it's going to happen soon, but eventually, if it continues to be poor performance by the other two, Jordan Scott continues to show at least defensive prowess, he'll get the start because Izzo loves defense, and if as long as you can guard your guy, even if you're not scoring, you'll get the minutes. So next game for the bounce back is next Saturday. Full week rest for the Michigan State Spartans because it is finals week here. Um, and it's against Penn State, so it should be an easier win, an easier game to bounce back from. Obviously, it still is Big Ten, and it's the first true away game. We have a couple neutral site games, but no away games yet. So hopefully, Michigan State Spartans can bounce back and get that win.